What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Sticks and Politics. Sap! So, what we're going to be talking about today is a series that is on the HBO streaming service. It is called Transhood. Now, this disgusting and neglectful and abusive show of children follows three kids, 12, 7, and 5, through the life of transitioning as a transgender. It's got got two boys wanting to be a girl, and I think there's one girl wanting to be a boy. I haven't really watched the series. I'm not going to watch this. I'm gonna put a link in the description below of Michael Knowles talking about the actual series. He's watched it. He's subjected himself to that brutal torture of having to watch child abuse on TV. But what we're going to be talking about is a little bit about the series, which they show a scene during Mr. Knowles' talk, and he shows a scene where to be honest with you, they sound like they're a fucking cult. But the little 7-year-old, his mother is, I guess it's him and his little brother that's there, and his mother, like this congregation of people, I guess like the pastor of the congregation, it was a female. She asked for any gay, bi, trans of their establishment to actually identify themselves. So the woman gets up with her 7-year-old boy. She calls him Phoenix. But she gets up with her 7-year-old boy, and he's dressed up girly. And you could tell, like, the kid is definitely, he's not into this. He even states that he's not into it, that he don't want to. But pretty much they get him to introduce himself, which he tries, and he fails to introduce himself because he really don't want to do it. So the mother then takes it upon herself to grab the microphone and say that her son's name is now Phoenix, and he would like to be identified as a girl, and use the pronouns she and pretty much the female pronouns, which I think pronouns are fucking stupid. And then in a very bizarre, and Phoenix walks away at this point, and then in a very bizarre, kind of creepy as fuck, cultish, drink the fucking Kool-Aid type manner, they all pretty much are like, may blessings fill upon you as you who you are, and accept yourself and love yourself as yourself. But that's completely not at all what they're doing, because he was born a boy, but yet they're convincing him that he's a girl. Clearly neglect. I mean, these parents, a lot of these parents that are doing this to children, these children are looking up to their parents for guidance, and the parents are looking down at the child talking about, well, what would you like to do? What do you want? And these kids don't know what the fuck they want at all. I mean, and the older one, what really fucking, like, I liked about it, and HBO unintentionally didn't mean for this to be the outcome of seeing the series. What they're doing is they're normalizing it for children, for us to prep children to cut their fucking peckers off at a young ass goddamn age, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. Go ahead and you could decide to cut your fucking balls off. Then they should be allowed to drink liquor. I mean, if they could choose that shit, then they should just let kids fucking drink and do drugs. That'll give us a real bright future. But anyway, I think it's the 12-year-old. She's sitting at the table with her mother and her father, and now these men that are in these relationships, they have willingly and willfully volunteered their manhood over to these women. They're completely and utterly useless. They're not saying nothing. They're just sitting in the corner fucking quietly because this ain't about them. This is all about the wife, the women. And these women are, you could tell that they're losers. They've never achieved nothing in their life other than spreading their legs, laying on their back and giving birth. That's the only achievement in life that they've ever done, and I'm sorry, but a $2 hooker on this New York street corner can do the exact same thing. So, needless to say, I think that they're fucking losers who has not accomplished shit other than having kids. I mean, you could be the judge on what you think an accomplishment is. I mean, me personally, I think an accomplishment is a career. It's something that betters you and the people around you, because that's the whole meaning of life. I've been all around the fucking country. I've killed people. I've watched people die, and I've seen a lot of bullshit. And I'm here to tell you that me, in my personal opinion, the meaning of life is to make the world a better place while you're here, leave the world a better place when you leave, and then do something to make your children proud of you, actually something to really make you proud of, and to reproduce. Because I'm hearing these stories of these kids who remembers the 9/11 attacks, who remember being the workers who was trapped inside of the buildings, who was jumping from the buildings and killing themselves because they didn't want to burn to death from fucking airplane fuel. And these kids are remembering like details that there's no way in hell that they would ever fucking remember. So this leads me to believe that, in my personal opinion, if you're not a piece of shit, whatever power to be, whatever God that's up in the sky, I mean, I'm not particularly a religious man, but I do believe in God. I do believe that there is a higher power, but I am also a heathen, and I found out that I'm Scandinavian, and I'm trying to get back to my roots and looking into the gods and different stuff like that. But I do believe that there's a higher power, and unless you are a total piece of shit, proof that you're going to get to come back is you having a child. And if you don't have a child, I feel like that's proof that you're a piece of shit and you're not going to get to come back. Once you're dead, that's it. You're done. Because this life that we have here, this existence that we have on this earth, no matter how fucking tumultuous it may get, life is an amazing thing. And it really is. There's a reason why in the Bible it says that the angels envied us. I mean, it's an amazing thing. You get to experience love. You get to experience loss. You get to experience gain. There's so much to life. That's the reason why stuff like this show, Transhood, that's come out, we need to stand up against this. And by stand up, I'm going to clarify this whole stand up thing. And stand against this and do not allow it. I'm not condoning violence, even though I do believe that there is going to come a time whenever the two sides aren't going to be able to get along at all. By two sides, I mean Democratic and Republican. The two sides are never going to be able to get along. I think we're too far separated between each other as far as extreme views. We want to stick with what we know, and we want to keep the respect and honor that we have had as a society and that we have built here in America. Yeah, we've done some pretty shady ass shit, from slavery and all this other shit. But you got to think, if that shit would not have happened, all the slaves that we got from Africa would still be in Africa. Africa is a fucking shithole. It's still a shithole. Whenever the Spaniards went and got the slaves, I'm pretty sure that the Africans that sold them the slaves didn't sell them their best and brightest fucking slaves. I mean, that's just something that you don't do in business. Whenever you're doing business with somebody, whether you're selling human beings or you're selling fucking apples and oranges, or fucking cars, you're not going to sell the best stock that you have. Most people who are sellers, they keep the best for themselves, especially as far as a country goes. They're going to keep the best for themselves. Tribes, back then it would have been tribes that would have been ruling Africa. They would have kept the best in their tribe. The best, the smartest, the strongest, all of them would have remained in the tribe. I've learned that the slaves that they did sell was criminals and outskirts of local tribes and stuff like that. So they would have never had a good start. So if slavery would have never happened, a lot of people would still be living shitty fucking lives in Africa. Because Africa fucking right now, it sucks. And we have built, and whenever I say by we, I mean all of Americans. Because it wasn't just whites and blacks here. It wasn't just fucking whites, blacks, and Indians. It was whites, blacks, Native Americans, Chinese, Irish. A lot of fucking Irish got treated like fucking dirt whenever they got here. We had some German slaves. I mean, we had a lot. We had a lot of. America's really is the fucking melting pot of the world. And the way you get treated in America as far as your rights and your liberties go, no other country has that. No other country in this fucking world, even Canada, sucks compared to America. I mean, sure, they got free health care and shit like that, but guess what? You're not going to pack your shit up and move to Canada unless you got something to fucking offer. You can look it up, dead ass serious. You cannot just pack your shit and move to Canada. Canadian government has to approve you moving into their country first, because they don't want fucking losers in their country. They've got enough of them. And that's their thought pattern on that shit. They're only exist to better themselves. And this is not bettering us. Us standing by and letting the LGBTQ community just completely destroy American values. Letting the Democratic Party, the Liberal Party, destroy American values. And we don't stand up, we don't go out, we don't vote, we don't do this stuff. And whenever I mean by vote, I mean all the way down to the school boards. Because this is getting to our children in school. You got to vote all the way down to the school boards. If they have Democratic and liberal views, you cannot vote for them. I mean, seriously, Democrats has had hundreds of years to prove that they're not a piece of shit. I mean, it was the Democratic Party who fought for slavery, who did not want slavery to fucking end. Whenever slavery ended, our agricultural input, as far as like the money we were making for agricultural, went down. But as far as industrial and machines and stuff like that, the engineering part of America, that shit exploded. Because the people who were up north were coming down south, and people who were down south were going up north. That we've grown so much by keeping our traditional values. And by traditional values, ain't nobody talking about slavery. Slavery wasn't a fucking value. It was a devalue. It devalued our country. And this stuff right here is devaluing our country. We are the laughingstock of the world. Oh, look at that. You them punk ass Americans dressing up their little boys as little girls. Fucking weird motherfuckers. That's what they think about us. This ain't normal. Normal people don't neglect children. And these parents who are doing this is all attention seeking. Pity me, give me some attention, and it's all for their self gratification. And they're pushing this upon these children. I don't know how many of you at 5 years old, 7 years old, hell, even 13, 14 years old, made decisions that you would like to stay with you for the rest of your fucking life. Me, I don't think I made any fucking decision. I am so glad that my parents wasn't such a piece of shit that they were like, hey, guess what? You decided to do drugs. I'm gonna pump you full of fucking heroin so that way you're addicted to it for the rest of your fucking life. You won't never escape it because you know what you want. I am so glad I did not have parents like that. Like these parents who are doing this to these children. This is wrong. This is neglectful. So anybody who is watching this, I actually recommend us calling HBO and getting this shit canceled. Or should we say better yet, no, let's make an example out of it. Because these kids, they're screwed. They don't have a fucking chance. And if they're going to be brought up like that, we might as well mainstream this shit. So that way, and the youngest boy, the one who said that he didn't want to tell everybody that he was a girl, and he keeps saying that he's a girl boy, because he don't want to say that he's all the way a girl. He knows he's a boy. And she's like telling him a story in the beginning, and he's in a dress, and he's like, I'm wearing girl clothes. I'm wearing girl clothes. And she's like, well, it could be boy clothes too. Like, it's extremely apparent that these people are pushing this upon these children. And these ain't the only ones. This is pretty much everywhere. And it's, in my opinion, I think it's leading to a dark road, because this is a war against straight people, and it really is. Like they keep saying homophobic. They're straightophobic. None of us give a shit about going up to a bunch of fucking kids and explaining how much we like women. No straight couple is doing that. No straight woman is going up to a child talking about how much she likes men. No one's doing that. Only gay people are exposing kids to sexual anything. And it's just disgusting. And it's not because they love the child. It's not because they want to have a family. This is just because they are using children as political gains. Because what can they do? What happens whenever their child goes to school with your child? Well, kids talk. So whenever she sits there and she tells your kid, yeah, I got two daddies. Guess what? Your kid's gonna come home and be like, hey, mommy, daddy, why is my friend at school got two daddies? What's that about? And then you're forcefully gonna have to tell them about this stuff. And they're like, well, you can't shelter your kid forever. You can't keep them from the truth. I'm sorry, but no. But until my kid becomes 18 years old, I'm pretty sure they're not gonna be looking up gay porn on the fucking internet. We have stuff for that to control that. We can prevent it and say, not in our fucking house. But there's no app to log in for school to prevent your kids from going up to our kids and talking about the fact that they got two daddies or two mommies. And that's the only reason why they want children. Because really, honestly, if they wanted children, they'd just be straight. If it's something that they really, really wanted, then that would be their attraction toward the opposite sex and opposite gender. Even though they're saying sex and gender is two different things, and it's not. But if you don't want to, go ahead and watch the series. I would recommend that if you do watch it, just pay attention really to how these children are acting. If you've got kids, you know kids who want to do something are happy about it, are excited about it, are just all about it and just obsessed with it. And these kids are clearly not into this. This is neglect. This needs to be stopped. So, all my fans, I appreciate y'all watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Once again, I will have the description or the link to the video where they actually talk about the Transhood series. If you want to see what I'm talking about, go ahead and look it up. It's on the HBO Max or whatever it is where you get the app for HBO and you can actually watch. Look it up. It's wild. I mean, it's plain and simple neglect. We got to stop. We got to stop this. All right. Thank y'all. Y'all have a blessed day and sap, baby.